What
Oh, hey,
is happening, crew? How you doing, El Capitan?
the skipper's in the house. Dandy, a chilly morning here on the boat, but other than that, really good. Yeah. How's everybody doing this morning?
Good, Dad. We got the slave. We got Northern. We got
Nice.
Scam Bankman in here.
Scam
The,
from jail.
we got the crawfish. We got Peggy K from DC, or sorry, BC rather.
Nice.
Other side of the rock. She's from
Right.
Gabriola Island, Dad. You know where that's at?
Gabriola Island is in Bahamas. No, hang on. Gabriola. How do I know that island? I've been there.
Where were you at?
Where was I at?
Yeah.
Oh, he's in Vancouver. Yeah, Gabriola is right straight off of Nanaimo, I believe. I've been to a lot of islands, guys.
Yeah.
So no, yeah, that's Vancouver, right?
Nice.
Gabriola's, yeah, it's like close enough to almost have a bridge, but not quite. Yeah, nice little spot in the world. Elizabeth and I wanted to buy a place there. We were looking at one time.
Love it.
Like an artist community, if you will, with everybody's got their own garden and acreage, and it's a beautiful little spot. Yeah.
That all sounds lovely.
And it's very lovely. Yeah. Rains a lot.
I might be moving in next door to you, Peggy. I need some of that. We got Dad Simon's in here with us. Christian's here. Hey, all. What's up, Hoosiers? Case, good morning to you. Jello, good to be back. We are glad to have you back. When we hit, I'm going Portuguese.
When we hit what?
When we hit, I'm going Portuguese.
Nice.
What Sam said. I love it.
Oh yeah. The Portuguese.
Yes. We got all sorts of fun stuff to talk to you all today about. We want to do a little discussion about the XRP AMM. We also got some kind of fun travel ideas that my dad and I are back and forthing about. Get us a little amp for Vegas while we're at it. And then we had one of my favorite crypto conversations yesterday on the phone, Dad, that I've had, man. I just love looking at this chessboard with my dad always, from when we were, angry tinfoil hat guys to, today where we're the peaceful, loving, let's try to help lift our whole community up a little bit higher, a little bit smarter, understand what the pieces are doing on the board. And you do a great job of that, Dad, pointing that stuff out to us. And so we'll get into a little bit of all of it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't do it alone. The energy coming from the people, is palpable. Yeah. And your contribution to the show and the energy is massive.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Our community, folks, yours and ours.
Ours, right.
That's what we're doing. Yeah. That's what we're doing here.
We're doing that.
I want to say real quick, have another big shout out. It was my favorite video of theirs yet. To Simon and Melissa on Dipito.
So glad you're bringing this up. Yeah.
Our amazing assistant reposted their video in X, and I reposted it with a comment because it was like, man, I want them to get that Saturday traction. Like I want people in our community to see this. Those kinds of videos need to be celebrated and shared. And those ideas are so real they, as I put it, they have it's a tax video inside a perfect dip a toe video right before tax season. And
That's right.
it's so cool because they back and forth. There's such a great debate. So if y'all are looking for another video today, please check that one out on Simon Says Crypto. We are going to be working with those two for a very long time.
Long time to come, yeah.
Long time.
We had a great discussion, as you brought up yesterday, on my drive down here to the boat, and you brought up so many cool things about the story, and then I thought, well, I've got to check out that video, and I'm like, well, okay, let me get my stuff done. Got to the boat. There were some issues on the boat. Got all that organized, and the storm started hitting. It's been stormy here last night, and I thought, well, okay, time to settle in for the night. And so I got through about half of that video. It's quite long. I want to say it was 3 hours or something. But
yeah, 3 hours and 12 minutes.
Yeah. And I got through half of it before I passed out asleep. and I was like, oh wow. Oh wow. It was like a side of Simon that I hadn't. I mean, I know he and I talk like that on the phone all the time, but I'd never seen him on video. So like passion, maybe not passionate, but like, no, we're not putting up with that. We're doing this. This is what crypto is. Like, we're trying to conform to what these people think crypto should be and control everybody. We want it to be this. This is why it was created. This is my vision. That's Satoshi's vision, or whoever Satoshi was. It's like, I want this for mankind, not let's enslave us with crypto now. And it really is a passionate view. And those of you who love Simon, like we all do, you should really check that video out. It was really well done. And Melissa was a sweetheart in the whole thing.
Oh yeah, and she was throwing fastballs too. They were both throwing fastballs in the strike zone the whole time. So you get to the second half of the video, Dad, and Simon literally said that exact same thing that you just said. He's like, okay, okay, I can do it with them. I want to do this and this, so I could do it with them, or I could do it myself. Doing this and this and probably that. So it was huge.
It's like, why would I buy an ETF when I can just buy Bitcoin? Like, hello, right?
Hello.
Like, that's the whole idea here. So yeah, I'm glad he gets to that, because that was on my mind. I was like, say that, and nobody was saying what I was thinking, and I'm like, say that next, and nobody did. And I fell asleep. But Melissa, Melissa played the role of, and I'm not talking down about her at all. She's a sweetheart and become a dear friend of mine, and will be for a long time to come, I'm sure. She was playing the role of, well, this is how everybody thinks, and everybody has to think conservatively and CYA, right? We got to do the CYA thing. We don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers, and let's just stay in our lane. And which is what 99% of the people on the planet think and feel. And so it was very relatable, as per the videos they were playing while they were reacting to them. Really a great show. It, like you said, it couldn't have come at a better time with tax season here and everything else. It's really beneficial. And so check it out.
Her taking that stance, was so huge to me in it. It's just because it is how a majority of people are thinking about it. Do I want to spend the money to invest in crypto right now, or do I want to, am I worried about what's going to happen, come tax season, and what I have to do, and what hoops do I have to jump over, and do I want to take the time to learn how to jump through those hoops? It was huge. Please go check it out, folks. Hey, welcome in, Joanna. Big hugs to you.
Joanna Girl's in the house. She's a big part of the back office scene that you guys don't get to see in operation. So
yeah,
thank you so much for everything she does.
Yeah, you're crushing it, Joanna. We see it. We see it.
And a bit of a moderator, if you will, of sorts. We don't really moderate. We don't. By the way, I got to say this. I've seen more and more scams on my videos. Please, people, I'm never going to ask you for your name or your phone number or any of that stuff, in particular on YouTube or any Rumble or any of those. The only thing I ask of you, if you're trying to get a hold of us, is that you go to our website. That way, you know it's us. Anything other than that, even if somebody creates a website that says "The Staple Crew," don't take any money from those people ever. I'm not going to ask you for a dime, right? We're not doing that. I don't want your crypto. I don't want your wallet. I don't want your keys. I got my own wallet. Okay. And the way they word things is so tricky. And I've seen so many different things. I've even been halfway through reading a comment thinking, oh, well, this guy's pretty cool. You know, I kind of like, oh, it's somebody scamming somebody on my site. And it's very frustrating because my logo, they've copied my logo.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
I don't know how many thousands of scam comments I've deleted on this channel.
Oh, we delete them constantly. Yeah.
Yeah. Report them, all of it. We'll have none of it.
None. Yeah.
None.
We've been victims of it. So we don't, why would we promote? Anyway, of course we wouldn't do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's going on in the comments there?
We got the Desi Lou in the house. Crypto Truth has arrived.
The truth is here.
The truth is here. Let's see. Northern had a question for us. Thoughts on the EU making self-custody illegal? Signed into law last week. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa.
I
don't. Yeah. Did that go through? I mean, is that? That's how much I know about it at the moment.
I want to say there was another step they had to take, but wow, if Northern's saying it's probably accurate, obviously. But
you put a question mark in it. Let me see. That's. Let's just real quick contemplate countries that do attempt to do that.
Yeah, it never works out.
And and of the countries I can think of in the world, I'm looking at the UK and the United States to do things like that. That's kind of my. I'm 99.99% optimist, everybody, and lover of all things and people. But there's the pessimist in there that's like, well, okay, be prepared. This is part of our plan, and part of our strength as a community together is to share these kinds of updates and things for our UK users. And people are like, okay, well, now, let's say it passes in 2 weeks. Now I've got time to look into this. How do I isolate my crypto and use it, within my own country? That's just probably gonna be popping up with different things here and there, especially with the rollout of CBDCs and what's coming down the road. They're gonna want more control.
Sure. And I also noticed that they passed. I think this was UK, not the EU, but they went to, you have to buy an ETF. You have to buy it through a broker. I'm pretty sure that was the Brits. And like that kind of stuff is just, it's tyranny, obviously. It's just total control mechanism. By the way, I want to remind everybody that jaywalking is illegal. underage drinking is illegal, and so therefore nobody would ever do that, and nobody ever had a beer before their legal age in their country. So just let's remember that. And number two, there's absolutely no freaking way they can stop you from buying Bitcoin or crypto, period. None. That's like, how would they? You can't do that. I mean, I'm just not even just VPNs. Like, how would they electronically keep you from doing that? Mm-hmm. Now, they can threaten you with it, and they can tell you that, oh, you're not allowed to do such things as, oh, I don't know, smoking weed or underage drinking or teenage sex. But, everybody does it anyway. So I don't even understand what we're on about here. It reminds me of when I built the fence around our property. You realize that it's only going to keep good people out. It's not going to keep bad people out, right? They're going to get over the fence. And I'm not saying good people are the people that follow the rules of a nation, and the bad people are the people jumping over the fence buying the crypto. But what I'm saying is the normies, if you will, are just going to have to go buy the ETF, and that's really sad. We know that all these countries have tried to eliminate whether it be mining. I don't know how many times China said you can't buy or own or mine, and they gave up. So I'm pretty sure the EU will learn to one day regret that decision.
Yep.
That's my 3 cents.
I love that. And the entire time I've been inside this space, and put my mind into it, there's a little battle going on. And I used to think is like, we're going to have to talk about this all the time. We're going to have to fight this battle someday, outside here, and they're going to try to screw us over. But I think the battle, right. You made me think of this, Dad. I think the battle is inside our minds. Like Crypto Truth just said, self-sovereignty cannot be stopped. And what's the thought that we can plug into our minds right now to say that? It's this whole thing was created to send the scales the other direction towards decentralization, towards you and me being the global network, people creating global networks. It's so, yeah, they can threaten you, they can make it illegal, but it's a great point, Dad. People are still going to do it. I'm still going to do it.
It's a global.
We're going to be working with it. We're going to be innovating with it. That's the other thing. That's the next step is, okay, how do I get even more creative? How do we support and create new products that go outside of those laws and those rules that are trailblazing? We're trailblazers. We're not in this space now and invested in all this stuff to sit here and be like, okay, well, I'm nervous, I'm scared. No, we're trailblazers, creating a global community network, changing economics forever. Like I'm working on this video, everybody, and it's just got a timeline on there. You're a little frozen, Dad. Maybe it's just me. Okay. I'm working on this timeline, and it's just getting into that. It's like, what phases of this psychological process are we in? Not like I was telling Dad, I feel like we're in the hodl phase where, the people who know about it are holding on to it. But all of us are all like
locations.
I mean, I'm getting it from Simon and Melissa and other people in our community. We get it from all of you in the comments that like our awareness and our ability to process all this and look at the chessboard, not just the economy that we've always been programmed and lived in, but now have this whole other chessboard like in Star Trek. and we've got the two boards, and those pieces are now starting to overlap and integrate with each other. And how we play the game is what this is all about. It's the most important part of the video that I'm writing. Is about true adoption. It's about us. So let's not ever let each other forget it. No. Even when we're faced with ridiculous laws against it, ridiculous regulations, let's help each other out with it.
Hopefully I'm back. Hopefully you can hear me.
That was my Sunday sermon.
I love it. I caught the end of it.
Yeah.
One of the things, referring back to all of that control mechanism, the tyranny, it's being exposed, and we're not having it. We're not going that direction. I know it feels like we are, but we're not. Okay, because what's a more controlled country than China? And China told its citizens that they couldn't own or purchase Bitcoin. They finally gave up on that. You can actually own crypto, right, in China now. They outlawed mining, and I wanted to say the last stats I saw was 16% of all the mining of Bitcoin still comes out of China. And it's not even like illegal. It's just like, yeah, okay, we know it's happening, but we can't raid every house and we can't knock on everybody's door. Like, how would you enforce everybody's wallet in the EU? You're not going to be able to do that. All they're trying to do is slow down the adoption. That's all they're trying to do, because they know where it's going and it doesn't fit their needs right off. But those of you who saw my video yesterday, I pointed out how inflation affects them, and their need going forward isn't the boogeyman. The crypto isn't their boogeyman that they think it is, and they'll get to that. Yeah. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Bless the universe. You got that right, Slave.
Yep.
Amazing times we live in, guys. They're not going to be able to tell you that you can't do this, this, and that. I mean, yeah, I know there's a bunch of people telling me, oh, they're going to shut the internet down and they're going to do all this stuff. And I get all that, but try not to dwell in that darkness, because it's really not beneficial to your day. And that the total intention of that knowledge being out there, that discussion being out there, is to shut you down and to threaten you and keep you from doing a fulfilled, complete life. And it's sad. Yeah.
They don't want the sheep sniffing too close to the hole in the fence, folks.
No.
They just don't, you know?
That's right. Yeah, there's too many holes in the fence, and they know it. So they're just trying to keep the real dumb sheep in at this point, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I watched this real quick short this week, and it was essentially like, our government has to, align itself alongside these 3-letter agencies. And so these three letter agencies have to be misleading and lie about their functions, or they have to fund other groups that are outside of themselves to carry out those functions that they're not allowed to do, right? So just got my brain clicking on it, and I was like, yeah, okay, well, doesn't mean that they're not doing it themselves. And
No.
We got a comment in here from Joanna, Dad. It's like there's people saying that the government's mining Bitcoin, and
they are.
Don't doubt it there for a sec. And that comes back to me what you're saying about the stall. When these projects, and we've all seen it with XRP, when it's hit with this giant stall, I really think that stall is just to have them the ability to have more time and put more energy into having more control over it. Having a bigger foothold in it, rather.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It's going to be interesting. I'm glad we're all here together. I'm glad we're together in it.
There's a guy by the name of what's his name? I always screw up his name. Chris Mortensen of Peak Prosperity.
Yeah.
He did a show. I've been talking about this forever, right? There's a company called Seed and Company, right? And they basically took control of all the stock shares. And this was, they had that tragic little Hurricane Sandy that came through and flooded all the stock shares. And while they were pumping the water out of the airtight vault, but water got in. It was airtight, but water got in. They were pumping the water out and it caught fire. And all the documents were lost. It was tragic. It was a sad day. Anyway, so Chris Mortensen did this hour-long show about how his show, not mine, the CIA took control from Seed and Company of all the shares of stocks. His show, not mine. And I was like, wow, okay. They're really getting bold now because you don't own your stock. You haven't owned your stock for 20 years. I know you can sell your stock, but when everybody tries to get out of your stock, let's say there's a run on stocks or run on banks and you're trying to cash out, there's going to be 25 people that own the same share that you have. The beautiful thing is that can't happen with crypto, right?
Yeah.
That can't happen.
Yeah.
And people are going to get more wise to the fact that you don't own your stocks. You don't own any of them. And when the music stops, you're going to be standing there with something, and they're going to say, well, it's okay. We'll just give you the money for it. They won't even do that. They don't even have to do that. I don't want to get too negative about this, but the Dodd-Frank thing wrote all of it out in black, white. It basically said, derivatives come first, you last. And when you understand all that, you realize, what am I doing in stocks? Why am I playing the old guy game where CIA controls it? Why would I do? I need to get in new guy game, and they're only just trying to control it now. So, and they're trying to slow the price. I don't know if you noticed, the prices haven't gone up the way they should have gone up in the last couple of years. You probably noticed that.
Yeah. We've noticed that.
Yeah, they're doing their best, but it's not going to help. Price go up. Yeah.
Yep.
Price is headed north.
You can't contain this. What innovations have there been in stocks? My dad talks about this all the time, man. It's like, what innovations have banks done in the last 50 years? The debit card, that's what you get. That's it. And this thing, that was one of my favorite parts of our conversation yesterday, Dad, is this thing is, as I was saying this to Sean last night too, it's going to touch everything in the way that currency touches everything, but it is exponentially more expansive than that because of the other technologies that it can connect with and touch.
That's right.
We talk about the internet. We talk about AI. We talk about cloud, space, like global transfer person to person. And that's going to be more and more and more and more efficient, more and more and more better, more and more and more simple because of those things, because of those companies wanting to create a better product, more decentralization, better use case for their inline user, and then everything else that goes in the sphere of creation and what people do. People like easier. People like safe.
No, that's right. Yeah. And when
And
they
the fear of
when
losing your money.
when you hear people tell you that the tokenization of all things is going to give them more control, I argue that. If you've tokenized that all things, how are they going to lie about having more things than they got? If it's going to be on a blockchain and that we know how many of these there are, it's going to bring some continuity to, well, what is the count of that? Well, here's the count. Well, how are you? Yeah, movement's going to be sometimes a little more difficult, but there's always going to be people creating new blockchains. There's always going to be new crypto coins coming along that circumvent and turn around because, like we always hear, innovation comes from necessity. It's like you see an opportunity that all these people don't want to play in that tyranny game, so we create cryptocurrency to get out of tyranny game. Well, now they're trying to throw their big blanket, wet blanket over the top of it, and it's just going to keep squirting out in different areas to where you and I are going to stay technologically savvy ahead of them because they're too big a conglomerate to outsmart a small little nucleus that can go around them. They just can't. They're too cumbersome. And they're remember, they're focused on all the sheep that I haven't seen the hole in the fence yet. Right?
Yes.
That's where their bread and butter is. Yeah. And you and I aren't the sheep. We're the ones already through the hole.
Let's make
and looking
let's make the crypto people that are just getting in afraid of taxes.
Right. Yeah. That's it.
Let's tax them 30% on mining each year.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I have no idea how, other than saying you guys have to submit this information to us. There's no way for them to monitor any of that. I started thinking about it the other day. I'm like, wait a minute. How are they going to monitor that? How are they going to say, what? Well, like the power companies are working with the miners. Power companies want the miners mining because those peak times and those low times they can still produce. Like, it's absurd. It's just slowing the ball rolling down the hill. They're just trying to put the brakes on it. That's it. Yep. And we get all riled up, or you watch 5 YouTube videos about how it's going to crush the whole thing. And I remember 3-4 years ago, everybody's like, "Oh, quantum computing. Oh, once everybody's got that, crypto's done." I'm like, "Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that." Yeah.
Yeah. This thing, right? We've all spent our time. We've all spent our 40 hours plus just understanding what it is, how it works. This thing is adaptive. People like make money, right?
Yeah.
People like be incentivized. And there's a word that you made me think of, Dan, and I just never hear any of us say it. It's clarity. This thing, you can download the blockchain and you can look at it. Clarity.
Yeah.
Is there any clarity how we've allowed our elected officials to write and change laws right in the middle of our chess game?
Yeah.
There's no clarity. None. It's deception on many levels. And because they have to make moves, no judgment. Okay, no judgment. It's if we sit around in that judgment all day, then we're not all thinking about and talking about how we can use it and how we can help it advance and the different chains and products that we know deserve to have support and that we know are going to make the world's economy for the people more efficient. That's let's just recalibrate. Okay, every time we all get stuck in centralization, everybody. Let's go back to decentralization. Let's tip those scales back in our mind and say, no, what can we do with this?
Yeah. And pay attention to that initial emotion that comes across you when you hear certain things in your life. An initial trigger that you get. Oh, here, bad. This is negative news. I'm obtaining a problem. I'm focused upon a problem. Oh, this result isn't good. Well, anytime you have those up front, you're instantly, believe it or not, if you're a forward-thinking individual, which most of you are, you're thinking of the solution around it. That's the space we live in. That's the people we follow. Those are the people who created crypto. Those are the people who are involved in changing the face of this planet. And you're not going to incarcerate them. You can't capsulize that. How are you going to do that? That genie's in the wind. Yeah. That's too much fun. It's all too good.
So there's so much joy, I think, my dad and I have got from being friends with Simon and working with Simon. Is he's constantly, he's clearly one of those people who's constantly trying to think of solutions. It's like, okay, man, I need some cash. You know, I need to get something going. I need to be that person that's going this way instead of that way. And it's refreshing. It is so refreshing, and it reminds me to do that. Both of you guys do that.
What do we got in there? What's going on in the chat? I really prefer to be able to see it.
We were really yammering on there. We didn't forget about you guys. You are all part of it. Okay, let's see. You guys are awesome. You're awesome.
There's too much good stuff in there.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna try and go back to my other spot.
I guess that's the tough part, is what do you aim at in life, in all things.
Yeah.
Dad, any thoughts on this is coming in from Cheddar, baby. Would love to know any thoughts on any AI cryptos. Anything AI connected, Dad, that you see? I know you've dabbled a little more than I have.
Yeah. I keep looking, and every time there's so many of them that just kind of throw the word AI in there, or it's in the title of the company or in the white paper. It's really not involved. I haven't found any. I've been looking, and I haven't found any that I'm like, oh wow, I got to really look into that. You know, I got to check it out. But again, guys, I don't dig around as much as many of you all do. And if you guys can put one down below that I could look into more, I'd love to.
Please.
But I even know that it's hard to invest in AI in Wall Street because there isn't a company that's exclusively doing it. There's a bunch of companies that, our new branch of our division is now AI. And that's like, what? I do want to talk about something that I heard Elon say not long ago, and he's not wrong, okay, at all. Mankind's running up against something that's really going to slow AI down. And what it is I took it a step further than him, but we don't have the facilities to power up electric cars. We don't have the facilities, we don't have the chips, and we don't have the generators that are required for AI to explode. We fundamentally do not have that. I mean, NVIDIA cannot remotely keep up, right? And I know they're building a big plant in Arizona and whatnot, but the world is grossly inadequate in what it needs for not just electricity. I'm talking about the mega transformers that are going to be required to generate said data that's needed and necessary for these very complicated AI systems to control and run your life. So I think we're way, way, way ahead of ourselves in a lot of ways. It's not going to, be your maid next week, right? That's not it. We're not there yet, right? So, and there's just a flat out lack of chips, electricity, and transformers. Period. If you look into it at all. Let's all remember that. So whatever you would purchase into might be, you might want to get into the fundamentals of any one of those three categories. In other words, alternative energy, transformers, people that make the mega transformers are years out. You can look at their orders and it's just like they're buried, right? Even if you can dam up a river, like how do you transform the electricity if you can't get the damn transformers? Like the generators and the massive, those are companies you may want to look into. And by the way, remember, I know many of you haven't forgotten, I had the guy that I met at my friend's party, 70th birthday party. Her son is actually working with a Wall Street firm coming up with actual stocks, if you will, but he's not going to be involved in the stock form of it, but future investments, if you will, a more venture capital side of things, but things that are going to be able to in the future invest in those three categories I just talked about, and also the future of DeFi going forward. And I will be hearing tidbits from him. So he and I haven't communicated much lately because they're still working on the code, because they're trying to code the whole thing and sell it basically as an app for everybody's phone. So, but he's on it. Yeah. I didn't mean to squirrel off on that, but AI, crypto, I don't really know of any solid ones unless you could come up with one.
In the chat, they mentioned RNDR, Fetch. So
Fetch,
we'll check those out.
I have looked into Fetch a little bit, but even if it only takes 10 minutes to look into Fetch and go, well, they're not really AI, are they? they're setting it up to be the future. If you want to go AI, you go through Fetch type. It's not true. It is true AI, but anyway, it didn't take long for me to look through a Fetch and go, yeah, well, they're not, creating much of it. They're just simply profiting from it, is what I got.
I loved your infrastructure point on that, Dad. And then it's also like, like I was talking about what phases are we in earlier with AI. It feels like we're in the encyclopedia phase. Like, remember, like our moms and our parents or our grandparents had, encyclopedias in the house, so I can learn about everything. Yeah, I had them too. I even had them. I'm going to go on Chat GPT and I'm going to, where do babies come from? Or how high is up?
No, that was National Geographic. Is where the babies came from.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, definitely, definitely. And then Dad and I were just talking. It's also, people are like, you're seeing advertisements for it, and it's evolving into sort of a writing application. The people who I know who have really used it have used it to kind of, assist them. I think not just writing content, but also as like a dictionary and a thesaurus, and kind of helping be your kind of co-creator when you're doing a writing project across the board. And so, I've heard people doing it for law, for real estate, for I've used it on a writing project, so it's you know, if for those of you who are interested in it and are working with it, I think that's a really cool application.
It really helps an old guy like me who really would rather do anything other than pay attention in class when I went to school. Yeah, it helps me a lot. I can barely spell my name, let alone, punctuation or any, I didn't bother to deal with much of that stuff, so really helps a guy like me or somebody who's maybe you're a math guy. I was more of a math guy than I was an English guy. So for me, like, wow, okay, cool. I got my basic concept and I can punch it in there and it can, oh, wow, look what it wrote for me. Look how smart I am,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool that way. Yeah, right.
It is.
It thinks of all those little words that you would never think of. You know what they mean, and they're back in your brain somewhere or wherever they are in the ether.
Yeah.
But it pulls them forward for you because it's the perfect word for that spot. You can't find it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's good stuff.
We talked about it kind of makes you, instead of having to be the worker, like the 100% the worker, it sort of turns you into a manager. It's like, I like that. I don't like that. I like this. I want to use that.
Yep. Yeah. And I went off on 3 or 4 tangents yesterday, but one of the ones I really liked a lot, I don't know that I can fully explain it here right now, but it would take me quite a while. But I'm going to do videos about it going forward. But the one I was talking about how AI is going to add to the quality of our lives. Mm-hmm. And that's a tough one for a lot of people because a lot of people are still focused. Remember, when you hear all those negative things, that's why negative videos get a lot more views. Like it triggers that emotion in you that fear is something. I need to be afraid of something. Way more clicks on the fear videos, like 10 times. It's a human emotion that you can't really. I'm going to protect myself and my family by clicking on this fear notion here. So I wanted to go the other way with this, and that is, it's one day. Well, this is going to be a long one, but one day it's going to create more free time for you, number one. But for number two, it has to profit from mankind. In other words, AI doesn't, business does, commerce does. So whatever your intentions or desires or wants or needs and likes and loves of your life is what AI will have to focus upon in its creation. Not tyranny, because that doesn't pay the bills. Mm-hmm. Your desires and wants and hopes for you and your kids is where the profit of it will become. And I hope you can understand that how beautiful and perfect that, not perfect, nothing is, how wonderful that could be, because you're going to spend less time working and you're going to be the avenue of income for all corporations, because corporations are going to vanish. Ultimately, they'll vanish. Because think about this. You come up with a great business idea for a company or a corporation. Somebody's going to come along with an AI product and just reproduce what you do at half the margins, half the profit margin. So everybody's going to go to that one because AI or your bot or your YouTube channel is going to say, well, go to this one, it's cheaper. And the next thing you know, it's going to be just like the phone on your camera, which it's free. Why would I pay this corporation for this thing I'm getting for free? Oops. Right? Yeah. It's a massive thing to wrap your head around, but again, don't get too worried about it because, like we talked about, the fundamentals and the physics of all that industry is years out, decade probably. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
encyclopedia phase.
What's that?
Encyclopedia phase.
Right. Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't even sliced the bread yet. We're still ripping the bread by pieces. We're not even advanced to slice bread with that yet.
Yeah. And I love all your takes on it too, Dad, because it's there's still fear about it. There's I don't think it's like it was, like when we
Yeah.
all we all knew was the Terminator, and now we're
Yeah.
kind of in the world that it exists and people do use it.
Mhm.
Um and so yeah, how do we use it? Right? Like the blockchain, instead of the fear, how do we use it?
That's right.
Because it's coming. It's going
And
to be here.
remember, and I say this a lot, but it bears repeat. AI isn't going to buy products. ChatGPT doesn't need ChatGPT.
Hmm.
It needs humans.
Yeah.
You're the product. Your attention span is the product. Okay? You can't sell new widget to AI. It doesn't want to own it. So your desires, hopes, and dreams for your day and your family and everybody else is the new product, not what you made at work yesterday. It's a hard concept for a lot of people, but once you get that, you understand where we're going is awesome because if you're a painter, you're gonna be able to paint.
Hmm.
And then you're gonna punch it into AI and it's gonna reproduce what you made in digital form, and then it's gonna be an NFT. Just one example. Because who's gonna buy the NFT? AI isn't. You and I are gonna buy it because you like the artist. It's gonna be, you're going to, we're not gonna see the world as physically, we're going to see it more digitally going forward as we go forward. And your life experience is going to be more of your own
Yeah.
because it's what you want. It's what
Uh,
you focus
it's
on in a digital sense that matters going forward.
it's a good concept.
It is.
It
It
is.
is.
Are we all going to go out and become coders so that we can create
No,
the apps and the smart contracts that we want going ahead in the future? We're going to need computing for that.
code is writing code right now.
Hmm.
Good luck. If you're a coder and you think that, you got a 20-year future, uh, I don't think you got a 2-year future, but I don't know.
I don't know. We need people to improve it, Dad. We will always need that.
Okay, those are creators and innovators. Yeah,
Hmm.
but those aren't sit down and write code for the guy that created something,
Yeah, and
right?
no, exactly. And to your point on like the artist, it's like, oh, okay, I've created the art, but I need to outsource it now. I'm an artist.
That's
I'm
right.
not a I'm not a manager, a merchandiser, a shipper. I'm not
Yeah,
like I need help with all that.
and
It's
human ingenuity and creativity
mhm.
will become bigger, more important to where man goes, because all these ideas that you and I used to take us a decade to put into market or fruition, well, that's done. You can do that now digitally in weeks, if not a month. And then your product is out there and your concept or idea or how to improve things. Look what crypto has done. All those little niches in the market that it's attacked and made it better because of that old dinosaur banking system. All of those are the same in your life. All of that innovation that you think, well, why do I do this? Why does it take 29 minutes to do this? Shouldn't,
My dad
all of
made
those desires.
my dad made this point to me about it yesterday, and it was take whatever you're doing. Okay, if it takes you 40 hours a week work wise to do it, and you can do that in two and still make the same earning, the same income, still Alan, still Brent, wouldn't you think about doing that? Just like throw AI out the window. just on an efficiency level for your life.
That's right.
So that you can go out and do all the other things that you actually want to do. All the things that we all want to do.
Which in turn does what? It now gives that person 38 hours, right? To go what? Consume something, do something that requires commerce. Instead of working all day for 40 hours, which is not consuming, which is not innovating, which is not creating, and it's not doing what you want to do, it's dead air. It's dead time. Now we're going to have those 38 hours where this person's going to go out and live life experience that is going to be necessary for the AI to fill in those 38 hours of desire that human wants to accomplish in that market, which is going to create, what is that, 90% more uptime of need of product? It is, because that 38 hours of dead time is now productive time of whatever you feel like doing.
Yeah.
It's
and on the opposite of what I said, Dad, if you're a go-getter, your 40 hours could turn into, well, I'm not good at math like some of you. I'm an English guy. But if you can exponentially increase your output, you could save yourself the time, you could exponentially increase your output either direction. Like that.
Yeah.
Man.
And I just explained that everyone's like, well, how are we going to get paid? I just explained to you, you created 38 more hours of human needs that wouldn't have existed. You know how big that is? Do you know how much market that is? And your desires about locations and vacations and places you want to go and experiences you want to have are going to be the new place that all the AI is going to go to. Why? Because it's something AI can't create, but it knows man wants. And that'll become the big need and new desire of mankind, because AI has to follow what we want. We don't follow what AI wants, because AI doesn't buy anything. You are the product. Your time is the product. And you're going to generate needs for Airbnbs or vacations or whatever it might be, or margaritas on the beach, whatever it is. You're going to be the one creating that. And you're going to need more of it, because you're going to have more time to do so, because you're going to get paid in the future for consuming.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a different concept, and it's once you wrap your head around it, you're like, oh my God, how big is that market? And it's what we want, not what we have to be a slave to produce. It's a what we want world.
It's totally inverted thinking on what we all been doing.
That's right. Which is where my mind goes when I hear about innovation. My mind goes there. I'd like to stay a step or two ahead. Sometimes I'm in the back seat, but yeah, I try to.
It mirrors blockchain for me. It's how can we use it, and what can it do for us?
That's right.
It's our tool.
Yeah.
It's our tool. That's what technology is. We're not monkeys using rocks and coconuts anymore. We're using different tools.
I used a lot of that in a debate, what I just talked about with you, with a good friend of mine who is a gold bug. And I said, look, man, here's gold's biggest issue is, how do you sprinkle gold through a telephone line? How do you sprinkle gold through a wireless connection? Just little tiny bits of it. You can't. You simply can't. And I think it clicked with him. He was like, wow. And I said, look around. How many people can send a text? like everybody now. I don't know how many billions of people on this planet know how to send a text. That's how they're going to transact. Period. They're not going to play with coins, physical gold coin. And everybody says, well, what we need to do is get gold on the blockchain. That's what failed in 1971.
Yeah.
People think, oh, well, gold didn't fail. We failed as a government. Nixon failed because he took us off the gold standard. No, gold was incapable of keeping our politicians from lying about how much they had of it. Pretty simple.
Dude.
So, like, who that's what failed. And it failed. Gold's failed like that. I think there's been 600 different fiat currencies in the history of man. Well, gold failed every one of those times because they had to get a representation of it. Because you can't send your kid to the market with a gold coin. Like, the representation of things fails unless it's true digital reality and has security and has decentralization. And once you have that, then you have something that man can build honesty and trust on. The rest, well, for the next 50 or 100 years, or until something else comes along.
Yep.
And I'm not bagging on gold. Trust me, I own some of it. I'm not bagging at all. I'm just saying, look around. How many 20-year-old kids are going to ever buy gold? Like, other than a gold chain. I'm sorry, it's not where it's going. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know central banks are buying it, but central banks are run by dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And central banks have bought gold for centuries. Yeah, that's right. And who failed the system in 1971? Central banking. Like, that was a success for them because they got to print all the damn digits they felt like printing and have. Yeah.
They didn't want no ledger. They didn't want no stable coin. They didn't want it.
No.
And we can see through you for all of you outside the United States, you can look at our history, our political and economic history since then. Some serious shifts, serious changes to policy and structure that has radicalized the types of ways that you can do that. Not just printing money, but from creating derivatives to deregulating investment banks. Your local bank being allowed to loan any set amount to God knows who.
Yeah.
Which to me is like, it's like destruction. I mean, it's like the destruction point of what was once, okay, my banker was on the hook I was on the hook for my loan. He wants to get the money repaid back for the loan. Those days are long gone.
Yep.
How do we bring them back?
Yeah.
I think we bring them back with what you just said, Dad.
Yeah.
When paying for something is so easy that it's a scan code or a text message easy, and that exists inside a network that we all can operate and run and exist.
That's right.
Our economy.
Which brings us, that's the perfect circle into AMMs, right? Which is the future of banking is going to be DeFi. The future of all transactions will be done on DeFi.
Yeah.
It'll be run on a DEX, right? A decentralized exchange is exactly what we need. We need an exchange to where, oh, this guy has a bunch of coins. he needs to loan them for me because I need the liquidity to buy this house or this boat, right? Oh, okay. Well, how are you going to pay him back? Well, you're going to pay him back from your earnings of whatever it is you do or can create for mankind. And you get compensated, and you're going to pay this guy back for the use of his collateral, which leads me back to what you own. You own the future collateral. If you own Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, if you own those things and you have the legal rights to them, which we know you do because it's on your wallet and you own it, you don't have the legal right to an ETF. You're going to be the future of the market maker. You are the market maker, and you're going to be compensated handsomely because there's 98% of the face of the planet doesn't even own the coins that you currently do. And they are the future of liquidity, in particular XRP, in my opinion.
Yeah. Make an AMM really simple, everybody. Lending, borrowing, incentivizing.
Right.
And
eliminating arbitrage. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Making the global market fair for everybody around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Not, oh, this dollar's worth more than that dollar over there. No, it's all just money. And we get to fairly transact with each other with these digits. That's where it's all going.
That's it, Dad. The most important thing I read about it today, I got into the DEX. So it's nice. I'm calling it the CLOB.
The what?
The CLOB. It's CLOB. Which, you know, CLOB, like, it's like that crappy machine pistol that you got in GoldenEye. You all remember that? Only this is like 1,000 times cooler. So CLOB stands for Central Limit Order Book Decentralized Exchange. So what my dad was just talking about is now through this, your typical AMM, you know, it's mathematics, it's locked in. Okay, so you lend the liquidity into the market. Whoever, you know, first come, first serve can come and take and use that liquidity, right? The beauty of building this DEX into the XRP ledger is how they say you have control over the amount and price. So you essentially drop an order. It's like, okay, I'm gonna loan $100, or we'll say 20 XRP, right? If the price changes in the time, like lowers or drops, in the time where that order can be filled, you're going to be allowed to drop that order. This is how I understand it. You're going to be allowed to drop that order and create a new order with your lending, your $100, your 20 XRP, whatever, at the new price. So,
right.
So whenever you get in, you're not just locked into it, which allows us. Go ahead, Dad.
But once you are locked in, you can wait a longer period of time, even if it goes against that liquidity or that trade goes against you. You can wait and gain more than just what you put in. If you're negative in your transaction, you can wait until it goes positive. So there's both. You have a longer wait of time so that you can sit there and go, okay, I don't want to get in now. Oh, now I think it's a good market for me to get in because now I want to join the liquidity pool. Got it.
Yep.
But once you are transacted into it, you are part of that. Don't get me wrong. I don't know any of this for sure. I'm still studying all of it with all of you.
Me
I
too.
happen to know that because of the Divi system. So could this be different? It could. So most of my DEX info comes from Divi, but I think I don't know why they would go differently. And there's not enough out there yet because it just passed, right?
Yeah.
It just passed. So we're going to know a lot more going forward. But
yeah.
I assume it's a lot like XLMs, which is pretty straightforward. Yeah. It's just in its infancy, guys. It's like, it's so early with it.
When I was reading about it today before the show, I was like, I was telling Dad, I was like, man, they had to do it this way. This is how you have to do it that way. When you think about big banks, you know, everywhere that are going to be making very large transactions, very large, you know, lending, trying to get that incentivization, incentivize. It's I don't know.
Yeah, that works.
You know, get that cheddar. That's you have to do it that way. You can't be just solely locked in at the point in time of your transaction, right? You have to expand on that. That's also what I understood of what Flair's doing. That when I did all that research last week, it was literally the same kind of concept in all of this, and it's exciting to see. It's exciting to see that what we've purchased and what we've supported, and you know, we all, I think all of us in here are kind of a XRP homer. You know, we've been bummed about the stall, you know, from the court case and the stall from, you know, this just launching Friday and all that. You know, it makes you wonder, you know, is it so important? You know, is XRP going to be so important globally in this you know, currency and crypto exchanging that it had to stall, it had to wait, it had to get it right. You know, certain people, of course, want to get in, yada yada, hence court case, see court case. But it just, to me, it's like Providence, Dad. It's like, wow.
It is. Yeah.
It's like, oh, and if you don't roll out with things like, it's why I love Cardano, because they're doing kind of little bighorn versus all of our complaints about Ethereum is they just rushed to the market, rushed it out, and they still had all these. Once you get big, then they had all these problems.
That's right. The other thing too is we need to really wrap our heads around. I did a video that's kind of be coming out this week, kind of about this, but we need to remember that the market's not ready for it. Like there's not enough demand for it, right? So why rush it? Why not get it right? You know, for when everybody piles in and all the transactions come in through this funnel down into this thing and you implode like Solana. Nobody needs that. You know, that's not it. You're gonna, Brent, those of us going to Vegas, you're going to meet a guy. Terrible, I forget his name, and if somebody put it down below, he's the creator of Reaper. And Reaper is a very interesting little angle that what he did with XRP. And this is a great story. I think I've told it before, but I'm standing there at the show last year. I'm talking to this guy for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, this dude, the brain on this dude is like 3 times the size of the brain I dream of having. Like, I'm just like blown away talking to this guy going, wow, man, this guy's really sharp. And then he goes, I'm the CEO or whatever, creator of Reaper. And I went, well, of course you are. Like, hello. Like, no wonder you knew so much about DeFi. But anyway, you're going to meet him. He'll be there, Brent, at the show.
Awesome.
Those of you going to Vegas. Yeah. It was just, these people have taken, remember a few years ago, I was trying to explain oracles to you and myself while explaining it to others. They've taken these oracles and they've created a that's like the center of this transactional universe, in which is going to just splinter in every direction to make profit. And it's just like, when you go into those kind of minds, you're just like, wow, they see profit everywhere. And I was just blown away by the conversation he and I had. And I can't wait to catch up with him. Yeah.
That's so cool.
So good. Yeah. Good stuff.
Looking forward
And
to
we
that.
will be.
I was just Northern and I have been writing back with each other on X, and he's just like, man, hey guys, how can I help out? How can I be a part of it? And
Yeah.
I was just telling him, I was like, here it is, bro. Like we just want you there with us. We want you there hanging out with us. Like if you're a Patreon member or you're in this live chat, like we kind of know you now ish,
Yeah.
Some of you, like, please write to us more. But like people who like Northern, who we've known through this entire time in the channel, it's like, and Dad, had lunch with them in Vegas and they were hanging out, and it was like, we want to just connect with the crew while we're there. We keep threatening, but we're going to create like a schedule, our Thursday through Sunday schedule, and post that for everybody. There'd be a little wiggle room.
You kind of want to stay. You want to stay open because, oh wow, DAI's got this party going on over here, and then Bearable Bull's got his thing going on over there, and it's like, man, I can't go to these guys and those. So you want to try and stay a little bit flexible. But yeah, Thursday night we are having a rooftop poolside private party for only the people in this chat and others. But yeah.
Yeah. Dip a Toe crew's going to be there. I think they're running it, right? Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
And so on that point, like, we're gonna make some meetup times, and the pool, obviously, you'll find dear old Dad and Augie at the pool, no doubt. But
that's what you do.
But yeah, I was just telling Northern, I was like, man, however, this is my very favorite part about seminars. It's really my favorite thing to do. I'm so pumped we're going. It's, hey bro, how can I help you connect with other people? Like if I'm talking to somebody and you're like, dude, Brent, that's, who that is? Like, let me introduce you to him. Let me set you up with him.
That's right.
Because some of you, like when you go to these things, you're going to meet your best friend. You're going to meet the person that you're like, wow, man, I love Alan's show so much. But then you find somebody like I did at Silver Symposium. Like I met Joe from Heresy Financial, who just blew my mind. Joe Brown. It just blew my mind. Like I was just like, man, I could sit here and listen to you talk about the chessboard, the global chessboard, which is what he does.
Yeah,
and
really well.
It's like, then it's like I get to listen to my dad, and I get to have that part of it when I'm in the mood, and so there's that angle. And then we obviously want you all to be friends and to make connections and to support each other in this. And we have friends in the chat and people that you've all talked to in here that are creating channels and are trying to, like, becoming coders and trying to get into different projects, and we want to help connect you.
There's a great little story. A great little story about that is Wayne, not that Wayne, the other Wayne. The Wayne we know, not the friend of the other Wayne. We know so many. I know a lot of Bens and Waynes. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, he is already got a scheduled appointment with Uphold because he had an issue with Uphold and he hasn't been able to resolve it online. It's like, well, I'm going to Vegas and I'm going to tug on that guy. I told him, I said, you need to go there because the CEO of Uphold is walking through the crowd, just shaking hands and talking to people about whatever the situation is. You can tug on his ear and he'll fix it. He's like, I'm doing it. Well, he texted me yesterday and said he had an appointment with Uphold in Vegas. So that's cool. What I mean. This space isn't too big for its own britches, right? Mm-hmm. We're like, you're part of this. You're part of this family and this group, and you're not just a person on the internet. You're somebody that matters to these people. And that's really huge, guys. And those of you thinking about getting involved in any of that stuff, Uphold will definitely be, all the companies that you can imagine will be there, and they'll have representation. And I won't know who they all are, but if you come up to me and go, hey, who's the Uphold guy? I'll be able to point him out, or those three, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's fun. You guys, if you go, it's fun. And if you're not going this year, make plans to go next year. That's all. You're not missing that much. You'll be rich and famous next year, so you'll go next year. Yeah.
Yep. Love that. Yeah, Sean, Alchemist wrote earlier, XRP is the slowest, fastest horse in the race. So,
Yeah.
you know, which we pointed out as can be a positive. You know, that can be a huge positive.
Will be.
Oh yeah.
It was so funny. I listened to this Bitcoin show the other day, and he was talking about, this and that. You got these 5 coins, and they're all just junk coins. I don't even know why anybody buys anything. They don't have any utility. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, like, really? You haven't done any homework on XRP. It's sat in the top. I don't know. Well, it's only dropped to 6. It was number 3 at one time? Number 3.
I think so.
2 or 3. It was right up there with Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you don't know anything about this coin. You don't know any of the fundamentals about what they've already done, the doors they've already kicked in, and the 900 employees they already have. And you don't know anything about that. Like, that's sad for you. How is it you do not know that? Your head is so far up Bitcoin that you don't know that about such a great coin at 50 cents. That's it. Shame on you, dude. You do not need to be out in front of the public giving crypto advice. Since crypto isn't finance, it's not financial advice. It's crypto advice. And he's giving bad advice. Like, I don't care if you buy XRP or not, but if you don't look into who they're talking to and who they've already inked deals with, what are you doing? What are you doing to yourself? What are you doing to your future of your listeners? You're not being objective. Yeah. And I feel the same way about the channels that only focus on XRP. I like, dude, really? You're trying to tell me that they were way better off just owning 50 cent XRP than not having any XRP or any Bitcoin in the last 5 years? Is that what you're trying to convince me? Because that's not what the chart says.
Yeah.
The chart, Wall Street just, how did you not know? We knew 3 months before the VATF was going to happen, and you didn't buy any of it. Oh, I don't believe in it. It's a rug pull. Okay. But you're telling hundreds of thousands of people not to get rich.
Yeah. And don't just tell me that it's the devil. I need you to explain it.
Yeah.
Okay. I need you to
explain it.
I need you to try to explain that to me and other people.
Yeah.
Why? You explain the why. We were at the Silver Symposium together.
Yeah.
And in Vegas, and it was hilarious. We ran into these really cool guys, but these guys, like I was saying to Sean last night, they're Bitcoiners. Okay, they built. I saw the pictures. It's probably $1 million mining facility. I want to say it was in Ohio, and their Bitcoin could do no wrong. It was the future. It was the future currency of all people all over the world. Yeah. And I'll never forget, like, Dad was talking to kind of the head of it, and I'm talking to the guy, who's trying to sell it. And then at some point, I think I said it, and
you did.
I had to go, Dad. It was well,
no, you did.
Yeah, I was like, well, okay, man, that's all great, but what about all the problems that are going to happen in the future with that Bitcoin's going to face with all those different things, being the currency of the entire world, for example, being the most glaring problem that exists, and they just looked, I'll never forget the look on the guy's face, like I was a toddler running around with snot coming out of my nose, and it's just like, bro, if you're not, to my dad's point, if you're not looking at the whole board, Bitcoin and XRP are completely different things.
Yeah. Totally different.
You're not looking hard enough into how all these other things work. And if you don't do that, you don't see big picture. And all I know about people is we like to create, and we all are different, and we all like to do different things. We all like to invest in different ways. We all have different ways of investing. Like there's so much stuff that is like, I don't ever want to be the closed-minded person. Don't ever let me become that, everybody, in this space, ever. I want to I want to hover at 40,000 feet with my dad and really try to help us to study the solutions.
Yeah. We have to understand in Wall Street, and the stockbrokers all we use an old school term, and it goes like this: they're selling their book. Okay. And that comment comes from way back in the old days of on Wall Street floor. And they used to have these little books, these little thumb deals that they'd flip over, and ticker tapes. And anyway, it's called selling your book. It's no different than a gold bug who, Peter Schiff, right? Or Lynette Zhang.
That's who they're talking about in the chat, Dad.
Yeah, it's like they sell their book. And these guys built mining facilities. What are they going to talk about XRP? Of course not. It's not their book, right? But when you get on a show like this one, we try to be objective. If you tell me that coin number 955 is going to save the world, I'll listen. I don't know. It's above my pay scale.
Yeah.
I don't know all. There's no way. I can't. There's no way. There's not enough time in a man's life, right, for anyone to be authority on all these coins. So if you're not open and objective, you're really holding people back from the future of what they could be. And like I say, I own silver and gold. But when you listen to these people tell you that, like, there's no way you would buy Bitcoin over gold, it's like, well, dude, scoreboard. I mean, Bitcoin is crushing gold. I'll never forget, that was the day that I said to myself, I got to buy Bitcoin. And I know I've told this story, but gold was at $350 an ounce. And I was like, Bitcoin went to $400 today. I said that to Elizabeth. I said, it just passed gold. Like, it wasn't just passing $1. That was a big milestone as well. When it went from 90 cents to $1.10, everybody freaked out. What do you mean it's worth more than $1 bill? It's just digital. What are you talking about? Doesn't make any sense. But when it passed gold per ounce, I hawked the car. I ran out and bought the stuff because I'd wrapped my mind around the concept of it. But I was like, it passed gold? What? And I don't know if those of you who've been following this stuff, but it just passed Mr. Warren Buffett's company in total value. And he calls it baby poison. So, like, good luck. It's going to consume you at one point or another, dude. Like, too bad for you. He's also, and I did a video about this, but he's also the guy that would never buy Apple. He never believed in Apple. You know what's interesting? The man made more money off Apple than he has anything in his life. And he was late.
That's all you need to know about that guy right there.
That's it. He's going to be late to Bitcoin. He's going to be late to XRP. Period.
Or he was in them the whole time.
Well, yeah. Berkshire Hathaway has already bought a crypto bank in Brazil, by the way, guys. It's called Live Bank, I think it's called. Anyway, somebody will know. I think it's called Live Bank in Brazil. We got Brazilian followers in there somewhere.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, thank you, Joanna. Yeah, it is more of like we were just talking about, open-minded and trying to assess the situation of all of it, and trying to be a couple steps ahead of it. And you all help us out with that. So
yeah,
as far as like Yo League, great question. They were asking, top 3 coins to buy. That's not that is definitely just not where we need to be as a YouTube channel. Based on everything that we talk about and say on here, it's it's bigger picture, and you can direct message us, and we can talk about stuff through Patreon or X. But there is some of that, there's some that validity in that financial advice angle. That's like, I don't know. Can you predict the future? I can't predict the future. I just know, because we've looked at it in this way for so long, Dad, that the adoption of it and the use for it, and once people understand what it is, I don't think you're gonna be able to buy a bad one like at the top 30. They're all different. They all have their different use cases.
They really do.
And not to avoid the question, but that's just kind of, it'd be fun to go in specifics, but I don't. We don't think that that's high level.
No,
for us to share with the community on this platform.
It depends on how much financial position you can spend. There's so many factors. I can tell you this, like, if I didn't own Bitcoin and XRP, I wouldn't sleep well. Mm-hmm. I can put it like that. I would feel, oh, there's a hole in my portfolio, and it's right there. Like, if I have 10 coins and I don't have those 2 coins, I got a big hole in my portfolio. That's all I'll say about that. And whatever you can afford proportionately to either one of those, I would not sleep well without those 2. Again, that's me. I'm a 64-year-old man. I'm in a different boat than a lot of you are in. Yeah. And I'm not a wealthy man at all. The financial risk for me is greater than a lot of you. A lot of you are younger, and you can take that risk, and you can buy more meme coins, and they're hot. I mean, you can make a lot of money. I was just listening to a guy the other day, and he was saying his biggest problem with being a meme follower as a company is he gets employees, and they invest their $500 paycheck, and it 1,000x's, and now they got 500 grand, and they don't come back to work. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't play that game. But if I was 25 or younger, well, I'd be playing that game. I'd be finding what's next,
Yeah.
I'd spend more time doing that. And by the way, even then, you shouldn't do any more than one, not financial advice, but any more than maybe 1% of what you own in crypto should do something that risky. But that 1% can really make you a lot of money.
Yeah, big difference.
Yeah. But this is not the channel for meme coins.
No. Big picture, baby. Joanna's got some good stuff for us, Dad.
Who does?
Joanna. When purchasing cryptocurrencies, are you thinking of them as assets? And then the second part of that is, how can you leverage them?
Yes, I've always told everybody on my channel that you own an asset. You own a hard asset. I don't. It's my opinion again that there's no harder asset on the planet than Bitcoin. It's like owning a diamond or a gold coin, in my opinion. Okay, it's a really hard asset because of security behind it, the network behind it, the amount of computing power that keeps it alive, and all the rest of it. So it's an asset. It's an investment, though. You're an investor. I'm not trading these things. I do follow the market daily, but I would not want to be an hour-to-hour trader. So you're an investor. So you bought an asset, in my opinion. And what was the second part of the question?
How can you leverage them?
I wouldn't. I talked about that. Do not leverage your coins. What we talked about with the AMMs earlier is that's going to be a way for you to, it's not leveraging, but it's a way of creating money, with your assets, and going forward. But I just did a video about that's going to be coming out early this week. But I would not be the first guy through the door on that. I just wouldn't. You're not. I know it's been really difficult for everybody that your XRP has not gone up. And that's really hard to watch all these other coins go skyrocketing up. And you're jonesing and you're like, I want to make money. So you rush in and you throw all your XRP into this DEX. And then, maybe the government or somebody tries to shut it down or whatever happens. And then you're standing there where you lost your coins. Don't worry about making money with your product. The future and the world's coming to what you own, the asset in which you own. The number go up factor of XRP is going to go from 60 cents to $6, and then $60 and $600. That's your money. That's your profit. Not a financial advice, but when you start leveraging yourself, you create risk. That brings me to the whole. That's why some coins focus more on security, some on more transactions. And when you start playing that game, you have to take more risks. Like Solana took a lot of risk by being insanely fast. But they're not real damn secure. You make compensations. And that's why Bitcoin is a totally different coin than Solana and XRP. It doesn't have the security risks that other coins do, but it's dead slow. So do you want fast, or do you want to know your pile's going to be there next year? And what degree of that it is? And all of those are big decisions to be made. That's what makes all these coins so much different from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Don't try and get rich off leverage. Not my advice. As Ralph Paul's always saying, don't F this up.
Yeah.
You got the right thing. Hang on to it. Don't F this up. This is your opportunity. And then you go stupid and start playing around with Gemini. And although Gemini turned out really well for all of us, which is really awesome to see in this space, in the crypto space. Yeah. But what was it? 3 Arrows didn't go well. I mean, all of it. FTX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been some goners.
Yeah.
There's been some goners. But we do. I mean, I don't think any of us is a big enough crypto bank ourselves yet to be able to go out and just start. Okay, well, for a small fee,
that's right.
I'll loan you my crypto. We do still need exchanges to get in and out. To make big purchases. People like the Winklevoss twins who have googads of money and probably bought crypto very early have that ability to sell it to you. And so I don't, there, it's a bummer with some of these exchanges, obviously, and you've got to put some trust into them, especially if you were not having your own keys in your own wallet, and you're leaving your crypto on the exchange. There's a lot of trust that you have to have there. But I don't wish any of them well, and I hope the ones that do exist, they're obviously, we're all watching them have to formulate and move countries and adhere to laws and all this stuff. But I wish them well, because we do
for
need
sure.
them. And people, who are coming in, like, who aren't us, that are coming in 2 years from now, I think we're still gonna need them.
Yeah. Thank God we were buying during the down market. I mean, what I just I just read this Thursday. Most of the Bitcoin wallets. Oh, and most of the wallets created in the last 6 months are already in profit. That's awesome. That's when you want to get in. 6 months from now, and when you're buying it when it's 105, and your friends are going to come up to you and go, "Hey, man, how about that Bitcoin? And how much did I buy?" It's like, ooh, we're already at 100 grand. That one gets tricky.
Yep.
But there's an old expression that comes to mind when that last question was, it's picking up pennies in front of a steamroller. It's not. It's not a good idea. That's an old school term that really
when
works.
Indiana Jones is fighting that big dude on the conveyor belt crusher. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Uh-huh. How much risk do you really want to take?
Right.
You've made some really good points to me, Dad, about like staking and things too. It's like, it's come up, like, because I've staked in with different exchanges and different coins and whatnot. How liquid do you want all your assets?
That's right.
Movability. Like knowing the wallet that you use, inside and out. Don't be just, I'm just gonna be on the exchange. I'm just gonna have it on there, and I'm gonna let it, I'm gonna let it ride, and I'll just take my little cuts, and it's not big enough. Understand a decentralized wallet and use it. Know how to use it. So if there is a critical event where all of a sudden Scam Bankman runs off, and
right,
breaks some serious rules, you're movable, baby. You're doing this. You've got that much more ability and power as an investor and a trader in this. Science it, everybody. Science it.
Yeah, and
Practice.
let's remember that the world's coming to us, and don't be impatient. I know it's difficult, but the world's coming to us, and all of these leverage options are going to be huge, guys. We're not going to get into those right now, but one day I'm going to explain the basics of it, because I haven't studied options for 30 years, so I'm not the authority at all. But there's going to come a time when you're going to have covered options and puts and calls that are going to make you money while you're sleeping. There's going to be, those products are coming, and the liquidity market that we keep talking about. So there's going to be so many ways. What you need to do now is what you've done. This is what I want to talk about. We talk about, there's a lot of people, myself included, that beat ourselves up because we've been through 3 bull markets and we didn't sell at the peak of any of them. Mm-hmm. But let's remember, you started buying, in my case, back in early of 17. So you've accumulated more because of this. You didn't, I know you could have taken a bunch of profit off the table and you didn't. And you beat yourself up and you're like, well, wait a minute, it was way up and I could have had a couple $100,000 and then I could have let it, I got back in at the bottom again and I missed that opportunity and I didn't, woo-woo guy says all the time, I didn't lick my ice cream. but the different, okay, you just let it melt all over your hand, is, in other words. But the difference is now look at the size of your stack. Look at your bag. I mean, it's massive now compared, right? To, oh, well, I got in for another 10 grand. Well, maybe, okay. But if you've been accumulating since 2017, it's probably more than 10 grand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying, your stack might be really, really big already, and all it needs to do is double or triple, and you're life changing. Yeah. Just saying. So don't beat yourself up that you missed the last bull and you didn't get out at the peak of 21, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. Look, that next time's coming, and the fact that you have more coins in your bag is a huge opportunity for you, because it allows you to sell some coins as the thing goes up and change your life slowly as you go. And then you still are in the market. You still got a bag. It's really fun, man. It's really a good time to be in crypto.
It is.
Yeah.
Someone asked in the chat earlier, Dad, if this is going to be a light switch or if it's going to be more of a steady adoption. It's an interesting question. I feel like it's going to be a bunch of little light switches and a steady adoption.
Yeah.
Because there will be those big events,
yeah.
like, we're all nervous about CBDCs, obviously, for good reason. We supported this, and we as people now know that we can build blockchains and invest in them and use them and are excited about their future. Why would you go back to $1? Yeah,
that's right.
Still going to be using currency and all that. Again, not to knock stuff, but it's like, why would you go back to that? And you've been making that point a lot on the show lately, Dad. And on here, I feel like more and more of us have just lately just been talking about have the plan. Have the plan. And what you just said is so important. It's like you didn't miss the boat. The boat hasn't even cast off to where you can't swim to it, The boat's going to be right there in the harbor ready to pick you up wherever you come in. So no panic, no FOMO, right? But
it's a great lesson from life.
But then it's also a long term, because all these technologies, because it's going to get better, because more people are going to use it through their businesses, payments, through giant corporations trying to sell it to us.
Yeah, what you just said is a really good way to look at life. There's always another train. Oh, I missed my train, man. Oh, no, there's another train. There's another train. There's another opportunity right around the corner. There's another coin. There's another time. There's another bull market. So to answer that a little more specifically about the question, this is a concept I've had for a while. I'm not a lone ranger. I didn't create it my own, but it resonates with me. When Bitcoin breaks $100,000, the entire planet is going to rush into crypto. Okay. I see Bitcoin breaking 100 grand and it's stalling somewhere between 100,000 and 110. And it's stalling there. And that's when numbers go up for all your altcoins. all your altcoins, there's going to be a ton of people selling their Bitcoin. There's going to be, oh my God, I bought it at 15,000. Now it's 100 grand. I'm getting out. Or they're going to go, wow, I'm going to take my $85,000 and buy XRP because it's still dirt cheap. And they're going to buy $85,000 worth of XRP when it's 70 cents or whatever it is by then, 80, 90 cents. And all of that's going to trickle down like it always does in bull markets. It starts when Bitcoin stalls at a top and Johnny Joe Public comes rushing in. Oh my God, Alan, what do you know? What should I buy? That's when that's when your advice is going to be, well, I'd be buying some XRP, some XLM. If you don't have any XDC, I mean, you might want to look into those because Bitcoin's at top, according to everybody's psychology. And that trickle down is when XRP goes from 70 cents to $15. And that's what a lot of people who are Bitcoin maxis, they don't get it. They're like, oh, well, man, all right, look how much money I already made. It went from 15,000. Yeah, but you don't understand the multiples, the return on investment that XRP is going to blow people's minds. Like it's life-changing money. Like going from $50,000 of Bitcoin to $100,000 is not changing anybody's lives unless you have thousands of them. And whoever has thousands of Bitcoin, you can, I'll put my wallet address down below.
Yeah. Send us a tip.
Yeah, right.
That's it, Dad. Yeah. It landed with me, man.
Yeah.
It's and then if you want to complete the circle, what typically happens? What do we know for the bulls? Then Bitcoin goes back down. Now you've ascended your buying power. Now you can get back in.
Yeah.
But that I think will be the question mark. We've talked about it. Like, will it be the yodeling man on the Price is Right game and just fall off the cliff again? Maybe not. Maybe this is the end of those types of cycles. Even though we've had so many, it feels like almost identical cycles of this. Every 3 years or so. It's going to be interesting again when adoption increases. Is there going to be more stability? Is there going to be less volatility? That's going to be interesting to see.
First of all,
yeah, Alchemist said it's like, is Bitcoin just going to go supersonic to some crazy number? And then everybody's going to be like, oh, okay, well, I better start getting in altcoins even more than they were FOMOing before.
Yeah.
So it could be very different cycle.
It's a brilliant question that it takes smarter people than me to answer. There's no way to know. I think ultimately there's coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum that I think are going to be a solid, steady rock going forward because they're going to have the ETFs behind them. And that will happen ultimately through time just because retirement funds will be in it. And what we know about retirement funds is it comes directly out of everybody's check every week and boom, 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 and number go up. And that's why stocks have gotten so ridiculously inflated because the FANG stocks are on everybody's portfolio who goes to a 9 to 5. Everybody's 401k, everybody, goes directly in there. So ultimately one day that'll just happen to Bitcoin and Ethereum and then XRP and Cardano, and then all that will occur. And then your ROIs will diminish. But I think Alchemist is dead accurate, that we're going to have massive spikes prior to that.
Yeah.
Life-changing. Yeah. I would guess. remember from my video, I don't even know crystal balls. I don't even know her. I don't know where she lives, or I never dated the chick.
Yeah. Look at
She sounds cute though.
Yeah, that's what we were talking to Cody this week, and you know, like just getting miffed about people just getting all the way out and selling it all just so I can cash up,
Yeah.
and then and I think what angers him is it's like, who are you selling it back to? You're selling it back to the people who are eventually, they're all trying to soak it up right now. This is what we're seeing with Bitcoin. These giant companies are climbing over each other. Like, go look at the numbers, everybody. It's crazy.
It's breathtaking.
This is wild.
And they're not about to sell any of them.
Yeah, it's
they're not going to sell them.
Can we have diamond hands? Can there be just a piece of our plan in our portfolios? I'm asking this myself personally right now, that is just never sold. It's just never sold. And then down the road,
I'm going to say
down the road, then we can have those conversations about leverage and all the abilities that's going to open up with these different markets on all types of different blockchains when that all starts thriving to where, okay, well, maybe I can use it to buy my house, but I don't even have to sell it, right, Dad?
Yeah, right. That's how I feel currently. The market and the place in which we're in now, if you own Bitcoin, my plan, not my advice, my plan is not to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
And because Wall Street's in, which means Wall Street's going to give you avenues in which to make money off of it. In particular, Fidelity's been talking about this for years. You're going to be able to borrow against it, da 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 da. Okay. All of those products have yet to come to us. Why? Well, they want to get the Bitcoin out of your hand. They're not there yet with Ethereum, and they're not there yet with XRP, but those days are coming. And what'll happen is you're going to have these XRP coins that are one day are going to be as collectible, if you will, use the term, as Bitcoin is today to the man, the system, the banking system, the people who leverage those kind of things, and the people who are willing to give you cash that you need to operate your daily lives or change your life financially to borrow against the product in which you have, which goes back to Joanna's great question, which is, I believe you don't own a security. You actually own something harder than that. You own an asset.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And those products aren't here yet because BlackRock wants to get all your damn Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I don't care what Larry says. That's what's happening. I mean, they're I don't even know what the number is, but the numbers leaving Grayscale right now are breathtaking. And they used to have, I want to say, don't quote me on this, what was it? 300, no, they had like 500,000 of them, didn't they? Bitcoin, and they're down to like 300,000 coins. I don't know, you could look it up. Don't quote me on that. But somewhere in those numbers. And it's like, wow, you guys have lost 200,000 Bitcoin under your roof. And you have to remember that's assets, AUM is what we call that in the industry. Those are assets under management. Mm-hmm. That's under their roof. That lends you credibility in the world. You can borrow against it. You can, oh yeah, we'll fund your massive big project because we have all these assets under management. They have lost half their Bitcoins. You want to just do the multiples on whatever that is, 300,000, 250,000 coins times $70,000 is billions.
Yeah.
That's not good, you know. guy at the wheel is losing his job. He already lost his job over that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what they're thinking over there at Grayscale. I really don't.
Yeah. If he hasn't lost it, he's losing it soon.
So don't be Grayscale is what I'm saying if you own Bitcoin. And to answer the question, now I remember the question. I would never sell your favorite coins, in particular, the two that I talk about all the time, Bitcoin and XRP. I would never sell all of my bag of XRP. I just wouldn't do it.
No.
Like, I don't know what you think. Tracks. Right. Let's say you have 100 coins. Why would you sell the last 10? Or do you know for sure that it's going down now? You don't know that. You don't know it isn't going to go ballistic now. So why would you be out of the game? And if that coin becomes what I think it is, those coins are going to be really important to you. Yeah. Again, none of this is not financial advice. All of this is entertainment.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're just having a little fun, you know.
Right. I'm just doing a little Russell Crowe. I'm just a little Russell Crowe action here. Are you not entertained?
Here's this one from Sean, Dad.
Oh, no. I don't like it already.
So good, dude.
I love you, brother.
So good.
What's he got? What's it say?
It says, those who have been poor and found themselves in a position to own or understand crypto, then this opportunity makes diamond hands as simple and easy as blackout drunk sleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not that I would ever know about that.
No, never. No.
I've only done that while driving a vessel once or twice, so that's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
For a captain, that's great. Actually, those are good numbers, Dad.
Humor. Humor, folks.
Ask us about some boat stories, folks. If you see us in Vegas or
we're going to talk about all of it.
Any other comments, questions, angles?
By the way, Sean and I,
everybody.
What you're going to want to do is hang around Sean and I in Vegas when we start talking rock and roll stories, music stories, not just rock. Nice. Yeah.
He sent me some really good music. Sean has sent me music before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was in a punk band for a long time, and he knows a few of the people that I've met or knows that they're in the industry.
Yeah.
But yeah, some good stuff. You're going to want to hear that. Poolside Thursday night.
No way. Sean was in a punk band. I would have thought he was an orchestra or a classical music kind of guy.
Yeah, more of like a Bible choir group.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with those groups.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Alan, are you a singer in a rock and roll band? That's from Slave. No, but my dad does build guitars, which is really cool.
That's as close to rock and roll as I'll ever get. I have made a couple of guitars. I'll bust those out one day, one video.
Yeah, let's do that.
They're right next to me when I shoot my videos. I don't have my camera turned that way, but they're right next to me there. And I pick them up and strum on them, but I wouldn't call it music at all. I would call it two cats mating in the night would be more what would come out of my voice or an instrument that I would play.
Yeah, it's so bad. My dad built me a guitar and I only know like 5 chords. I can play those 5 chords together though. Yeah. I need to bring that thing back home.
Which is nice. Here's that's a beautiful guitar.
We'll throw the comments up on here so you can see them, Dad. Alchemist says, I long for the days the adults finally take over. As do we. I mean, if you're calling us the adults, then yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. How about honest?
How about the day that innovation is supported and developed and appreciated by the people that we call, I don't even know what we call them anymore, but the leaders of our men. We used to call them leaders of men. Yeah. I refuse to call them anything that noble any longer.
Nay.
No.
Becky had you pegged for a bagpipe type of guy, Dad?
Bagpipes. I love me some bagpipes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm down. No, I'm kind of, if I had like to just go sit on an island somewhere, I'm kind of more of I'm not a country music guy. I'm kind of more like I don't even know what I'd say, like a mellow, bluesy rock, reggae action. Those are kind of my three favorites. Yeah. So,
yeah,
if that makes any damn sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a theme song working for the show with another guy by name Ben. The other Ben. Yeah, not that Ben, the other Ben.
We haven't talked about that in 2 months.
Yeah. He's a busy boy.
I'm coming for you, Ben.
Like, yeah.
If you're in here.
Hey, I love bagpipes though. Yeah, Becky, you nailed me there. I love bagpipes. That's the only thing I approve of it when it comes to a funeral, actually. Is everybody a party for when somebody passes? Yes. Love that. Celebrate one's life and bagpipes. Other than that, I'm not really into funerals. But
yes,
I'm a harmonica guy, big time. Love me some harmonica. Yeah, anything to do with blues. And I'm a Strat fan, not a. I'm
not a Telecaster guy.
Yeah, no, I'm more of a Fender guy, not a Gibson guy.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
You worked for the owner of Fender, right?
No, I worked for the owner. Well, he created his own guitars. He worked with Peavy is his name, but he created. Yeah, he created Peavy amplifiers, but he also made Peavy guitars, 5150s for Eddie Van Halen. And actually, Eddie Van Halen actually had his own room with a music studio in this house in which my wife and I managed on Palm Beach. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, I got all kinds of, I don't know, I have a lot of links to rock stars, and I don't know too many of them very personally. I kind of knew Valerie Bertinelli pretty well, and then I partied with Van Halen for a week and hung out with her kids. I knew Wolfie Van Halen when he was just a little boy. I taught him how to ski. As a matter of fact. And I don't know if I told you this, Brent. His first album cover name, you know what it is?
Alan?
No, Mammoth.
No way.
I swear to God, the title of his album, his first album he ever made is called Mammoth.
Oh my! I'm looking that up as soon as we're done here, people.
It's so cool, man.
I was such a huge Van Halen fan.
Yeah.
You've got everybody asked my dad about Van Halen in Vegas. He's got some unbelievable stories. You're just connected to those guys.
This is a PG show.
Yeah.
We will keep it that way.
Yes. Very good. Very good.
Yeah. And that was 25 years ago, back when everybody was still in consumption mode, should I say?
Yes. That's what.
Yeah, but I hung out with Seal. Spent 3 days hanging around with him, and I'm not a lot of rock. Christopher Cross. I don't. Too many people don't know who he is, but I had him on privates lessons all 1 week. So anyway,
do we like Sammy or David better as a lead singer?
That's easy for me.
Yeah, it's easy for me too, but Sammy warmed on me. I don't think anybody likes the Sammy years as far as the content in the songs and the way they hit. Like those first two, Van Halen 1 and 2 is just insane. I mean, that's really good, solid rock and roll.
Yeah.
But there's some really good. There's like 5150. There's some good Hagar albums too.
Yeah.
Really good stuff. Really good 80s, 90s stuff.
My answer is both.
Yeah. We'll take both, please.
Yeah.
Becky's gonna learn how to play the bagpipes. Love it.
Nice.
You should learn Amazing Grace on that, Becky. Amazing Grace bagpipes would be epic.
That'd be awesome.
Well, what do you say, Dad? We're a couple hours in. You want to do some more questions, or how are you looking on?
Yeah, we've been going a while. I got a meeting with the boss coming up here pretty quick, but yeah, it's been fun. It's been a good show, Brent. Man, you nailed it today.
Yeah, man. You helped me. You got me thinking of so many ideas, and I like that you and I, keep building on. When we get a good concept, it's like, let's keep sharing it with each other, and let's keep sharing it with the crew, and we get to hear from all of you and your takes, and there's so much, man. There's so many cool. Everybody's just talking to each other in the chat today, Dad.
So great. You've just gotten really better at all this, Brent. You really are. Live is really your thing. I don't know what it is. It's just you've gotten so much better at it, and it's great to have you here because it's so much easier than me doing a monologue. A monologue, it's weird how it, like when I do those, like I got to be in the right place and the right frame of mind for those. But this, I look forward to. See, I look forward to those too. But like I look forward to this show. It's like, yeah, man, I get to talk to Brent about what's going on in the world, So we get to share what we learned over the week and be excited about the following day after these live streams is Monday, the new week. So charging back in. It's good.
I feel the exact same way.
Yeah, it's good, man.
We got all the regulars in the chat here today, Dad. And they're just they're as awesome as ever. We love all of you. And that's why we want to stay big picture. I mean, we have to just because we're always curious about how all this stuff's going to go. And even bigger than that, we want to be a part of it. My dad and I want to be a part of this whole thing.
That's right.
In the future, not just as a channel creator. A channel creator just tries to sell you on one crypto. And we're here to do a lot more than that. We're here to echo our love and appreciation for people in general, about our financial success in the future, everything that we want to do, and all the stories we want to share. And we were all just talking about music, and that's beautiful to have a community that can make movie joke references and talk music and go tinfoil hat, and then also be very creative you know, and us all trying to understand the space together. So thank you
Yes, thank all of you.
Yeah,
so good.
We get to have a little seminar every Sunday together, and that's why, you know, that's why we've kind of we understand, like, you know, if you can't make it to Vegas and all that, but
next
real
year,
quick, my dad and I were talking yesterday. We got this good little idea of
oh yeah, that's cool.
yeah, me getting I was just gonna do it as kind of a side project, side hustle, but becoming a travel agent. And why do I bring that up for us? It's not to sell you guys vacation packages. It's more than that. It's getting my dad and I out on the road and booking things so that we can come and see you. Like our Patreon members, the people that are in here, it's like there's going to come a day where my dad and I are like, man, we want to do a meetup in your town. And we want you to lead the thing. And we want to be there to hang out and talk with you and mingle and answer questions and have a great time that night. That would be a dream for my dad and I. And so to do the travel agent thing, just again as a hobby, is to get us these awesome discounts through travel and through hotel and through all that, so we can try to keep the price down on any kind of events that we create. And that is something that we are definitely going to work on.
For sure.
Our heart's there. We want to be with you guys. Like we don't, you know, seeing you here is so awesome. We want to hear your stories and talk to you. What's your angle on that, Dad?
Yeah, I mean, I had to plug my phone in, so almost lost you guys. Yeah, I like that. I really would like to also, when we're all rich and famous, which isn't too far from now, I hope. I'd really love to see us do stuff like, has it been your dream to, well, Becky lives in Glacier National Park. Like we could plan a trip to Becky's neck of the woods, right? And we could, I don't know, rent out some bungalows, or if everybody's into bringing your own motorhome or camping or whatever it might be, we could come up with a spot and we could all hang out and sit around and tell stories around the bonfire. It just sounds like that's what I want to do with my life, not only just with the people in this group, but that's what I want to do the rest of my life. I enjoy that kind of thing. It's a simple pleasures for me. Being in yachting, I don't need a big fancy 7-course meal. I've been there, done all that, and it's quite boring, to be honest. I mean, it's nice occasionally, but I'd rather meet everybody in, I don't know, whatever comes to mind, the Poconos or, you know, Moab or whatever it is that you guys think that you'd like to do, or a ski resort. Those of you who like to snowboard or ski, it'd be really fun to meet up, and we could book a bunch of rooms really cheap or something, or reasonably priced, and we could just find out who all wants to be there those 3-4 days or whatever, and plan accordingly. So I guess what we're trying to do is find out, does that make sense to any of you? Would that be fun? Or, because I know what happened last year is after the Vegas show, it was kind of a letdown. Everybody was like, man, I just love this energy, and I got to wait a whole new year, another year, to meet up with all these people that are in the same vibe that you're in. And I don't think we need to wait that long. We could do fun things together, and if especially if XRP goes through the roof, we're all going to be in a different place, and a different mindset financially, obviously. So, and we don't even need to wait then. A lot of us can make these kind of fun trips, and we can make them as cheap as possible for certain people. If there's pockets of people in different towns or groups, maybe even overseas. I mean, it seems like we have a lot of people from the UK and Ireland, or a lot of Dutch people too. For some reason, I don't know what's up with that. That's great. Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, so and for some of you where it's just financially tough, to create that travel budget. Like one of the really big perks to me was getting a wholesale cost price on these, right? Because agents make their money getting commissions, and then some of that goes back out to your mentors and to your company. But if you create a wholesale contract and do the deal through that, you just don't make any money, which is fine with me as long as I get to see you come into our thing. You know, I mean, there's just gonna there's gonna be somebody like, man, I just want to go. I just want to be there. So we're gonna try to make that happen too.
Also, I have relationships with not just dip a toe. I have relationships with other XRP channels and different people in the space that are like, I can remember this, like by June or July, we're all like talking with each other, like, can we just hang out? Can we, Zach and Molly and, Lewis, all these people are just like, can we just hang out? Can we just meet somewhere? Can we all just agree on a date and go there? And there's these Discord groups that all of these channels have. And all of those people, there's a lot of commingling, there's a lot of the same fans of different channels and followers. I shouldn't call people fans. They're just followers of information is what we all are. And because I follow many channels too, right? Yeah. But I think that'd just be really fun. We could hook up maybe with Zach's people. He's up kind of northwest. So is Simon. That'd be kind of fun up that way, But yeah, all of that is to be done.
On Gabriola Island.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's quite remote, but yeah, we could do that.
Right. Yeah. Okay, everybody. Okay, we got an announcement. I just asked for their permission on this. Yeah, we got some good stuff. We got some good stuff right now. Okay, everybody, our very own Cody Garcia has just started his own YouTube channel. And let me tell you a little something, because you've all talked to him in the comments here. He is somebody that, like, my dad and I talk to on the phone now. It seems like a weekly thing, Cody, which I would love to continue, because the love and the life talk and the real stuff is what we always get to in our conversations, brother. And it means the world to me to have friends like that, just personally. And so Cody's done his first 2 videos on his channel. And we're kind of in talks to hopefully have him do a video with us one of these days. Ghost Money is another one. We're glad you made it in, OG. I know Cody shouted you out too, brother, on his last one. And so we're really appreciating your channel too. This whole thing's about growing our community. That travel stuff we're just talking about, loving on you guys is what this is about. This is what Al and I want to do with our life. But I've heard my dad say it, and I will echo the sentiment. I don't need 100,000 subscribers. We're going to be doing so much other stuff and trying to share that other stuff with you that there's going to be so many balls rolling for all of us. That's what we want. If maybe even if we can keep this thing tight, it'd be that much cooler. And so we even think that way with the channel for ourselves. And so, but with the young and growing channels, like those guys are doing, please go over and check them out if you love chatting with them. But Cody's he's a guy, man. He's like me. He's that we've had the same kind of airs, ups and downs in crypto. We've been going through it. Also very spiritual people. I think the evolution of expressing ourselves as people and expanding spiritually has really just done wonders for us. And you get that when you're listening to Cody's videos, you get that, man. He's got this methodical way of speaking and delivering points that is just real stuff. So that's my big shout out to Money Paradise.
Code Man.
Yeah. We love you, dude.
Right down the hill from me. So I've met him and his wife and his lovely little daughter. And they're just great, real people. And they're the kind of people that I hold very near and dear in my life. And those kind of people are not just followers of this channel. They are the community in which we're building. And that's a beautiful thing. And you should follow his show. Yeah. I only watched his first show and I got a lot out of it. So I'm sure it resonates with all of you because we're all going through the same stuff. So
yeah,
check him out.
Dad, Melissa just jumped in here. The very first thing that we talked about on the show today, Melissa, was what a fantastic job that you and Simon did.
Yes.
That you are doing. And for those of us who've seen that video, you all were just throwing fastballs down the strike zone. Some of the things that you
did, a great show.
Down. It was the most I think I've ever commented on a video. And so if y'all are looking for some crypto content on Sunday, we got Money Paradise, we got Ghost Money, and we've got Simon Says Crypto. And that dip a toe, folks, is no joke.
No, it's a good show.
Thank you, Melissa, for crushing it. You're crushing it. We see you. We love you.
And awesome. Melissa and I and some other people will be, and Brent, obviously, and Elizabeth, will be poolside in Vegas. So a bit of a private party that all of you would be invited to who are going to be there, who we talked about earlier. But there's going to be other guests that are going to be there that you're going to want to meet. So please get in touch with Brent and I and or Melissa to attend that party if you're going to be in Vegas Thursday night.
Yep. Love it.
With that, Brent.
With that, Dad.
I've got to get rolling.
I thought you were cutting it out right. I thought you were going out right there.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about it. Yeah. I got to get moving, guys.
Let's get us all moving. We love you guys.
We'll see you next Sunday.